Hi everyone, I'm back here with another drawing tutorial for you. This time I thought I would switch it up and share with you a little drawing basics. This episode is going to be on emotions, how to add emotions to your artwork, particularly in your characters' faces. So what do I mean by emotions? I'm talking about feelings that we all feel, so maybe like happy, sad, angry, tired, hungry, anything. And I want to show you guys how to add emotions to your characters' faces to take your drawings to the next level. So the way I'm going to do that is with some simple shapes again. So I have a new piece of paper, and what I'm going to do is draw a bunch of circles. So these are going to be my faces. So in episodes 1 and 2, we talked about how to draw the characters for my book's Little Leaders. And I just used a simple shape, a circle, as the kind of stand-in for any sort of face shape. But we learned how to draw those characters with their eyes closed and this sweet smile. And to me, that is an example of kind of a pleasant face, maybe peaceful, maybe imaginative. But I want to show you guys some simple ways to draw some of those other emotions we talked about. So the way we're going to do this is we're just going to use a circle, and I'm going to fill up this page with a bunch of circles, and we're going to experiment with a bunch of different face shapes. Now you can work off of the list that I started, or you can start adding some of your own. So underneath these, I'm going to start with, I'm going to do happy, sad, angry, tired, hungry, or how about bored, and confused. I left this first one blank because I want to show you guys how I start off with sort of like a blank face or a neutral face. So I'm going to draw a couple of eyes. So I'm going to draw 2 circles for eyes. And I'm going to add some pupils to these eyeballs. And I am going to draw a little nose, sort of in the way I drew my Little Leader nose, and kind of just a flat straight line. So this guy has got kind of a neutral look. Now the trick to a lot of facial expressions is using the eyebrows. So I actually have on my iPad here my circle shape and my neutral face, but I want to show you guys how with just this single face and a bunch of different eyebrow shapes, we can make it really feel like this character is changing emotions. So I'm going to draw some kind of neutral eyebrows. Okay, those look pretty neutral. But if I take those away, let's see if I move them down, if they change anything. If I move them up, if they change anything. If I make them thicker, how does that change things? The crazy thing about our faces is that even just the minuscule little change can make it look like we're feeling a lot of different things. So here's an example of some kind of maybe sad, confused eyebrows, some surprised eyebrows there. How about some angry ones? And my more neutral ones. So that's an example of how we're going to use our drawings to kind of change up this face. And that's just the eyebrows. So we'll see what happens when we change up the eyes. So one of the tricks that a lot of artists use when they're drawing is keeping a mirror by their desk and making these faces. Sometimes I take photos of myself. Sometimes I look in a mirror to kind of really understand what's happening in my face when I'm trying to make this pose. So happy, I feel like we're all pretty familiar with. So I'm going to draw my same eyes. And maybe some eyebrows that are up high and kind of arched. And a big smile. Now you can change this up a little bit. Sometimes when someone's really happy, they do eyes that are kind of closed, like you're smiling so hard your eyes squint. Eyebrows that are up and a big smile. So let's change that up and flip it upside down and try sad. So we could do our normal eyes. And maybe really low upside down eyebrows. And sometimes sad, like your face drags a little bit, like your frown is up, your smile is upside down, but sometimes it's a little lower. So I move it slightly farther down in my circle. And if we really wanted to push it, we could add a tear. We could close the eyes a little bit. Maybe eyes down. Sad eyebrows. And a sad smile. Okay. So there are lots of different options here. It's really kind of amazing how just one little switch can really make it feel like totally different. So angry. Got our eyes and our nose. So the way I showed you before was eyebrows that are kind of tilted down usually really suggests anger. You could do a big frown if you like, or sometimes when you're really angry, your mouth is kind of tight and you don't want to say anything because you're just fuming. If you really want to push it, you could add a few like wrinkles, like, oh, very angry. Okay. Tired. This one's a little bit more confusing. So what I might do in this scenario is kind of like maybe take a video of myself going, kind of yawning, or look at myself in the mirror and try to make a tired face. So maybe my character's eyes are drooping a little bit like this. I didn't do exactly matching eyebrows this time because I'm trying to imagine a character that's like really sleepy. I mean, the easy way to go is probably eyes that are closed. That's a little bit sick looking, but maybe a yawn. I don't know what that character is feeling. He's feeling something. Let's try hungry. We could do... I'm going to try my character's eyes kind of like happy. Like they just... So I'm going to try my character's eyes a little bit closed here, maybe like a big smile, and maybe the tongue sticking out like, I'm eating this thing. Okay, bored, let's see. Bored is kind of close to neutral, right? So maybe I'm just going to do eyes that are like almost closed all the way. And kind of a straight face there, straight mouth. And then confused, I feel like we can try to change up the eyebrow. So let's try one eyebrow down and one eyebrow up. So let's draw the eyes first. So arched eyebrow here and kind of like confused one here. And this one can maybe have like the mouth is kind of open. Like, what? The silly part of being an artist is sometimes you have to act things out in front of yourself, in front of the mirror, while you're just sitting here by yourself, and make all these faces. And if you look through a lot of artists' phones, I'm sure you'll find a bunch of photos of themselves doing things like moving their hands around or making funny faces, because the best reference for any of this stuff is yourself, because we're all humans and we all have all the same features and can pull off all of these emotions with just like the slightest change. So I want you guys to try it out. Try making a list of like different emotions. I gave you some basic ones, but try some more complicated ones, and then get in front of the mirror and make some funny faces. You can then, once you've mastered this, you've mastered how to approach all of these different faces, we can apply them to a character. So I'm going to draw just a basic face of a girl. How about I'll draw a boy today? So I'm going to choose one of my emotions. Let's try confused. Okay, so that's a general confused looking character, I'd say. Looks like he's looking off somewhere, trying to wonder what that is. So I want you guys to practice your different emotions, try making a list of some confusing and interesting ones, and just experiment. And then you can try to apply that to the characters that you normally draw. So good luck. I want to see what you work on, so definitely tag me in your art, okay?